So one of our projects is the CDAP project, which is the Data Donation for Climate Change project. And we're looking at people's perceptions of the environmental impact of their food purchasing. And also we're comparing that to the ground truth of what they're getting, of what we can see from their supermarket purchase card data, so the smart data that's available. And through that, or within that project, we're looking at public's perceptions of the environmental impact of food, or misperceptions. We're using the objective data to be able to validate, or perhaps not, classic psychological models of food behavior. And we're using data analytics to develop an environmental food purchasing index, which we can then share so that others can use this smart data, the data on the environmental impacts of food, for further research and further purposes.
Well, I think the thing for this sort of research is everyone cares about environmental damage and our footprints, but it's very hard to actually tell what your footprint is. And perceptions are very different from reality. So things you think have a huge environmental impact, maybe like Coca-Cola, like products like that, they don't. They're mainly water and other things which you think are probably healthy, have a huge impact because they're brought in from abroad. And seeing that and being able to research it, thanks to the Smart Data UK funding, I think is incredibly valuable. So really interesting stuff.
What we're also planning to do with our environmental data of food is develop a public-facing portal where people can get their own shopping data and then actually see the environmental impact of their real data. And what we'd like to extend that in the future, where we can then present that in different ways, perhaps where they can compare it to others, or even get tips and advice on how they could perhaps substitute different products that are more environmentally friendly. So, future plans.
I think one other thing from it is like, there's all this research in AI and, like we can recognize pictures of cats and dogs and generate Ghibli images and so on, but the real value is being able to analyze these sort of data sets to really make those predictions about how you can help the environment in the future. So, yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah, we were just looking in the workshop we've just come from at the actual data you get when you ask for your purchase card data, and it's just a stream of text and numbers, and just being able to then give that to the public in a usable form, I think is really valuable.
Yeah, it's like giving the data meaning.
Yeah. Well, it's interdisciplinary. We're getting all these perspectives from different fields, but it's also really applied, so you can see the value. I've always enjoyed that in my research, to be able to actually see the benefits of what you're doing.
For me, it's really exciting just because the data affords so much value to us in the future. So it's been used by companies, it's our data, they're guardians of our data. But now opening up to researchers means we can make advances in health, predicting everything from respiratory disease, helping the NHS, social good, but also projects like the one Alexa's running, which is looking at environmental impact. Things that we couldn't see before, things that people care about, but it's very hard to observe it. So yeah, the research I think is huge value for the future.